And as you just heard here, Democrats in California are now sprinting to redraw their own state congressional maps in their favor to counteract the Texas gerrymander. Governor Gavin Newsom says that the maps would be temporary and subject to voter approval. So let's get the status now of this fight from California's Lieutenant Governor, Eleni Kounalakis. Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much for joining us here. Let's get right to it, because in your view, how is the redistricting effort in California different from what Republicans are doing in Texas?
Well, it's very different, Gio, and thank you for having me on to talk about this. This has been going on in the country for quite some time. For the last 20 years in California, we have had independent districts drawn with an independent committee. But across the country, we've seen gerrymandering by the Republicans just getting worse and worse. In fact, our members of Congress have tried to introduce the California system to Washington as a fair system for the country. But what's happening right now in Texas with Trump calling and basically saying, find me more congressional seats, it's really just the last straw. And so the people of California, the legislature, the governor are really just fighting back and saying enough is enough. We need to do our part to make sure that we have fair representation in Washington. And this is really the only way that we can do it.
So I know we're expecting a vote tomorrow. What happens next in the process here?
Well, again, President Obama just endorsed the effort because he said, look, this is actually really a measured approach. The commission will stay intact, but for the next 3 election cycles, the maps that will be used will be ones that go to the voters on November 4th. So if voters approve those maps, they'll be used for 3 election cycles. And frankly, hopefully, this crisis in American democracy that is led by Donald Trump and the MAGA movement, hopefully we will have overcome it by then, and we can go back to the independent districts and the commission that has served our state so well. So it's temporary, it's fair, it's transparent, but at the same time, it addresses what's really happening, which is Donald Trump trying to suck up all the power of this country into his hands to do what he wants with it, to take away women's rights, to take away people's health care, to go door to door sending ICE agents to tear families apart. Californians do not like what this administration is doing. And so we believe that this is the appropriate thing to do. We put it before the voters. If they want to take their power back again and fight back against Donald Trump, this is their chance.
So you just mentioned there former President Barack Obama's support, and at a fundraising event last night, he did call Governor Newsom's approach responsible to combat the redistricting in Texas, even though he said his preference would be, quote, that we don't have political gerrymandering. Do you agree?
Absolutely, we agree. Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren has been bringing this before Congress members now for years, saying, here's the California model. It's fair. Let's do this across the country. But what we know is that in a lot of these red states, they've been gerrymandering away Democratic seats for a very long time. And so what happens is the voice of Americans is not heard in the proportions that it should be because of the Republican gerrymandering. So we're willing to fight back. We're doing it, linking arms with Californians across the state. It will be up to California voters ultimately to decide if we do this. And as President Obama said, if we can get the California standard everywhere, that is absolutely the best solution. But what MAGA has been trying to do now for really a generation is have majority power with minority votes. And that's really what this fight is all about.
This is an issue that so many across the country are talking about right now. Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis from the Golden State, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.